那我们请塔托博士来给我们最后的一个简短的 closing， 给博士一个掌声。
All right, wow. So I just really want to honor all of the people who are dedicating their lives, and all of you, actually, all of you who are here. I know you're making efforts to help make a positive difference in our world. And as I said earlier, I think it's very important to embody what veganism actually is, which is a heart of kindness and caring, and to bring that element to our life as vegans, or even if we're pre-vegans, as we move in that direction. I say there's two kinds of people in the world. There's vegans, and then there's pre-vegans. So if you're not there yet, you'll be there in this life or the next, right? But I think, as we live our lives in this way with kindness, that we become much more effective. And remember that ultimately, the only one we can actually change is ourselves. We can change ourselves. We can't actually change another person, but we can change ourselves. And as we embody the vegan values of respect and kindness more deeply, as we make an effort to understand the issues so that we are grounded in the understanding, then we can plant seeds more effectively. It's really, I think, about planting seeds. Every time you show a video or write a blog or create a meal or do a class, where you're planting seeds. And these seeds, I think the deeper our understanding is, the deeper and more effectively we can plant these seeds. And these seeds will grow. I think one of the underlying ideas is to remember that the most effective advocacy in many ways is sharing ourselves. Listening, being willing to listen to others, because people will listen to us, I think, in many ways to the degree they feel that we're listening to them. So if we refuse to listen to other people, they probably won't listen to us. So to be a good listener and to not only that, but to share our own story. And I think, in a sense, people sometimes ask me, but if you only have like one sentence, what would you say? And I think the basic sentence is something that reflects the idea of our own understanding. Something like this: I'm so grateful that I discovered that the only reason I was eating animal foods was because I was just following orders. I was just doing what I was told to do from the time I was a little kid. And now I don't do it anymore, and it's great. And then let go. Just don't try, in a sense, don't try to change the person, because if the person feels you're trying to change them, they probably resist. But just plant the seed of our own understanding, the awakening that we were only eating animal foods because we were following orders. And we realized those orders are not in our best interest. They're not in the best interest of anyone. And no one wants to just be a robot following orders that are not in their best interest, that are harming them and harming the world. And so they may not know it was you that made them go vegan because you just let go, but we plant those seeds of our own understanding, and that is, I think, what really is very effective, to do it with love and respect. The other thing I want to, again, underline is that dairy products have just as much violence in them as meat in many ways. I mean, they really, from the very beginning, I think it's important to understand that as we move along the path, that moving to a completely plant-based diet and letting go of dairy products is enormously liberating. First of all, because the milk of a cow is absolutely not something that we as human beings need to be healthy. The basic protein in dairy, in cow's milk, is casein, and we do not have renin, which is the hormone that's needed to break that down, the enzyme that's needed to break down casein. So dairy products not only cause us a lot of problems, but they're extremely abusive to mothers and to babies. The whole animal industry is abusive to mothers and babies, but it's epitomized really in dairy products. And so as we move, I think as we get the dairy out of our system, if we're vegetarians and move to becoming vegans, we'll find our health really improves a lot. And the sense, I think, of joy and harmony that we're capable of feeling also improves. And we can also understand that the dairy industry is one of the worst things in terms of global climate destabilization. Cows eat a huge amount of grain. It's very wasteful of water and resources to be eating dairy products. And also just to remember that we still have in place subsidies for the animal industries. And if people really had to pay what it actually costs for these things, it would be much more expensive than eating plant-based foods. So as our society begins to awaken and we see progress happening on all fronts, I think the most important thing is for each one of us to find what is our unique piece of the puzzle that we can contribute. What is my unique passion, my interest? Is it music? Is it speaking? Is it writing? Is it education? Is it organizing? Is it just talking? Is it being an entrepreneur of some kind? We need people to work with government, people to work with education, people to work with religion, people to work on the internet with blogging, people to work in restaurant creation and meals and every possible thing. And to have an actual life that is in some way contributing to bringing about this change, which goes to the root of all of our problems, to help move our society in the direction of respect and kindness for animals and other people and ecosystems, is a life that I think is joyful and something we can work on together. And Madeline and I, as we've been traveling for especially the last 5 years, 6 years maybe, a lot internationally and going to places like Africa and to Western Asia and South America and to places like Eastern Europe, and seeing the veganism booming and blooming everywhere, new vegan restaurants cropping up everywhere, and meetup groups and vegetarian, Veg Fest. I love this vegan frenzy idea. These kinds of these are all. It's happening everywhere. It's not being covered by the mass media, but it's actually happening, and we're all part of this movement, and it depends on us. Our future depends on us. It doesn't depend on corporations and financial institutions and governments. It really depends on us getting together like this at the grassroots level and sharing our ideas and our thoughts and cultivating a heart of caring. So I'm going to stop here. I think the movement is in really wonderfully good hands. I'm so inspired by the beautiful people we've seen here on the stage this evening. And again, when I said this, I think yesterday or the day before, that people sometimes ask me, what is the country that seems to be leading the way on planet Earth, or what is the place? And Taiwan, I think, is such a light in our world of bringing compassion and health, not just from a religious point of view, which is important, but from a point of view of consciousness and awareness and environmental sensitivity and caring and health and freedom and a positive future for everyone. So I look forward to continuing to work together with all of you, and thanks again so much for the efforts you're making. Bless you all. Thank you. It's great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
非常谢谢。
谢谢。
Thank you, Dr. Talo。那我们今天的讲座就分享到这里，非常感谢大家参与。